Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. Ruben Amorim is making one thing clear at Manchester United: no one is bigger than the badge. Known for his bold leadership at Sporting CP, where he sold top stars without blinking and delivered 2 league titles, Amorim is now wielding that same iron fist at Old Trafford. Big names, big attitudes, it doesn't matter. If you're not all in, you're out. In just a few months, Marcus Rashford has been loaned out, Alejandro Garnacho is on the market, and Jadon Sancho is packing his bags. Even Antony, rediscovering his spark in Spain, looks set to move on. Amorim's message is loud and clear: buy into the vision or be part of the clear-out. Here's how the new boss is reshaping United one fearless decision at a time. Ruben Amorim once proved that no individual is bigger than the team by putting his biggest Sporting CP stars up for sale before winning 2 league titles. The Portuguese head coach is now demonstrating the same ruthlessness at Manchester United by sticking to his guns and selling any player that doesn't fully buy into his philosophy. Amorim came into the Sporting role as a fresh-faced and inexperienced manager in March 2020. But he had a plan from the off, which was to establish his own style of play with his own players. That, in turn, sparked a mass clear-out in his first transfer window at the helm. The tactician sold a whopping 7 players in his first summer, with 3 more leaving on free transfers and 15 being loaned out. It didn't matter who they were. If they didn't meet his requirements, they were axed. Marcos Acuna had made 36 appearances the previous season and even wore the armband in the final game of the 2008 season against Benfica. But the hot-headed Argentina international was quickly sold to Sevilla. Another player that butted heads with Amorim and didn't survive to tell the tale was Islam Slimani. The Algerian had returned to Sporting as a fan favourite in 2022 and immediately started scoring. Yet Slimani only lasted a matter of months as his attitude didn't sit well with his manager. Amorim sent the forward home early from a training session, citing his lack of commitment and inability to make a big effort with the team. Slimani had reacted poorly to being told he would not be starting ahead of striker Paulinho for a game, which crossed the line in Amorim's eyes. The manager said at the time, "Those who train better, play better, and are called up. It doesn't matter to me. I can risk my work and qualifiers. It will be like this until I stop being a coach." That has also become a recurring theme during his short time at Old Trafford. We saw just weeks into his tenure back in December that no player was untouchable, as he cut Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho from his matchday squad against Manchester City. Rashford was then completely frozen out and sent out on loan to Aston Villa in January, with the United Academy graduate expected to leave on a permanent deal in the coming months. Garnacho, meanwhile, reportedly showed dissent towards his head coach and has now been listed on the transfer market this summer, with the likes of Napoli and Chelsea interested in signing the £40 million winger. After the final game of the season against Aston Villa, Amorim delivered an apologetic speech to the Old Trafford faithful, in which he promised the good days are coming following their lowest ever Premier League finish. A key part of instilling that vision is working towards a squad overhaul in the transfer window. Like Rashford and Garnacho, Jadon Sancho is also expected to depart after Chelsea paid a £5 million penalty fee to send him back to United, having decided against signing him permanently. Winger Antony is also set to leave after rediscovering his form on loan at Real Betis, where he said he is smiling and happy since joining the La Liga side in January. Many more are sure to follow him out of Carrington's doors. Bruno Fernandes has revealed he rejected a jaw-dropping £100 million offer from Saudi giants Al Hilal, choosing loyalty to Manchester United and his desire to play elite football over financial gain. Amid a turbulent season that saw United slump to 15th, the club gave Fernandes full control over his future, and despite the allure of a new life in Saudi Arabia, the Portugal international says his heart and ambition remain in Europe. Speaking ahead of the Nations League semi-final, Fernandes credited his wife, coach Ruben Amorim, and his own competitive fire for the decision to stay at Old Trafford. Bruno Fernandes says that Manchester United made it clear they did not have to sell him in the wake of interest from Al Hilal, and that the midfielder would have the final say over any potential move. Fernandes, 30, has rejected a lucrative proposal to swap the Premier League for Saudi Arabia after being sounded out. Their offer, said to be worth £100 million, coincided with the end of a disastrous season for Manchester United, who finished in 15th. United are eager to rebuild their squad this summer, but there will not extensive transfer funds available due to the club's failure to qualify for the Champions League. As such, the club are expected to consider serious offers for all players as they bid to give Ruben Amorim scope to shake up the team, but Fernandes insists United told him they did not have to sell him, as he weighed up his decision. Speaking in a press conference ahead of Portugal's UEFA Nations League semi-final tie with Germany, Fernandes revealed, "The president of Al Hilal called me a month ago to ask me about a move. There was a waiting period for me to think about the future. As I have always said, I would be willing to do it if Manchester United thought so." I spoke to coach Ruben Amorim, who, throughout that period, was very annoying to me not to go. The club said they would not be willing to sell me only if I wanted to leave, that it was not a financial issue. Speculation over Fernandes' future has grown in recent weeks, particularly in the wake of reports that the Saudi Pro League outfit had set him a deadline to decide on a move. But he decided to turn the proposal down after speaking with his wife, adding that he wants to keep playing at an elite level. "It was a very ambitious proposal," Fernandes added. "The president was a fantastic person. We never discussed the amount initially." "With my agent?" "Of course. Then, I spoke to my wife and family, and she asked me what my personal goals were in my career. She was someone who always supported me a lot. It was an easy move, even at a family level. I had João Cancelo there. My children are used to playing with him in the national team. We have a great friendship. But I want to maintain myself at the highest level, playing in the big competitions, and I feel capable of it." Victor Gyökeres has left Arsenal and Manchester United fans guessing after suggesting he may reject a Premier League return to remain at Sporting Lisbon, the club he now calls home. Despite a jaw-dropping 54-goal season and mounting interest across Europe, the Swedish striker admits he feels deeply connected to life in the Portuguese capital. With family support and Sporting keen to keep him, Gyökeres' £60 million summer move is far from certain, and the Premier League giants may need to look elsewhere for firepower. Arsenal and Manchester United transfer target Victor Gyökeres has hinted that he could snub the numerous clubs chasing his signature and instead stay at Sporting Lisbon. Gyökeres, 27, has been heavily linked with a move to England, where he previously played for Brighton and Championship side Coventry City. But the in-demand Swedish striker, who scored a sensational 54 goals in 52 games this season, hasn't made a decision on leaving the Portuguese capital, never mind his next move. Mirror Football understands that Sporting would be willing to sell Gyökeres for £60 million, with both Arsenal and United looking to sign striker in the summer transfer window. That's despite his release clause being £84 million, having courted interest from across Europe after firing Sporting to the double in 2025. But the 27-year-old loves life in Lisbon, where he feels at home. In Swedish culture, people work hard during the week, and if they want to do something, they do it on the weekend, Gyökeres revealed to Vogue Scandinavia via Portuguese outlet Abola. Here, people also make the most of the weekdays. They come over with friends on Monday or any other day of the week, have dinner and a glass of wine. In Sweden, that's rare. That's the big difference. Lisbon is one of the best cities in Europe. I feel at home. His family also enjoy the city. Uncle Chris said after Sporting beat Benfica to win the Taça de Portugal, "I'm super happy. This is amazing. We were here last year. It's the same spirit, the same people, the same atmosphere. Absolutely fantastic. Beyond words." Asked if their family felt a connection to Lisbon, Chris replied, "Yes, very much. Yesterday at dinner, we decided that he has to stay." On whether the Sweden international will indeed stay, he responded, "Yes, we think so." His uncle's comments were later put to Gyökeres, who confirmed, "They really like Portugal. I think they want to be here and enjoy the city, the good weather, and all the atmosphere. Sporting Vice President Francisco Salgado Zenha recently said that they haven't received any formal offers for Gyökeres, who's just pulled out of international duty through injury. He has 3 more years on his contract, Zenha told reporters. At the moment there are no offers, he has 3 more years on his contract. I think the answer has been given. Sporting's transfer plans won't be any different from last year. We want to keep the best players and retain talent.